And how long do you send your kids for to a sleepaway camp? I'm curious. I want to know this.
I know. You're going to die.
I'm not going to die because I feel like I look up to you. Tell me.
Okay. I'm Julie Cole, co-founder of Mabel's Labels, parenting blogger, and mom of 6.
Hi, I'm Tina Singh, digital content creator and mom of 3.
And we are here today to talk about camp!
Summer camp!
Yay, it's coming. I love summer camp.
I love summer camp.
Yeah.
Kids get to try out new things, have fun.
Yeah. So I do sleepaway camp with my guys, and I know you're a day camp guy. Day camp mom.
Yeah.
So tell me, what kind of things do your kids like doing at camp? What makes you pick a camp? Yeah.
So for me, I really like to go with what is interesting for my kids at that time. So right now, my older 2 boys love basketball, and so I do a half-day basketball camp because that's something they enjoy. And so I try to focus on half day so they have the afternoon to play outdoors with their friends, and so they have some of that free time. They're still young enough that they need some of that creative free space.
For sure. But of course, a lot of working parents need to have them camped up all day, every day. But I always thought summer camp, like day camps particularly, are a really good chance to try out new things. Like, I remember I had one kid who was desperate to do horseback riding, and I was like, I just don't want to be in a barn in the middle of winter, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, fine, in the summer, let's do horseback riding camp. Take that off your to-do list or your want list, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's a week or 2, you get to try something new, and it's a good opportunity to try something that you couldn't otherwise.
Yeah, and I think for a lot of parents too, there are a bunch of things to consider. I mean, you work from home, so I mean, you need them out of your house as well.
I need flexibility. Yeah,
definitely. So I mean, I think like location is often a factor. Price.
Yes.
For sure. Yeah. And then often I find that they really want to do things with their friends too, like maybe their school friends.
Exactly. So they got friends that they want to meet up with in a camp for the summer because maybe we don't live so close by or whatever it is. So I love that. But I also really like to focus on location. I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah. For me, if I can get all my boys in a camp close together, it makes life a whole lot easier. And especially for, those parents who are maybe working outside the home and they need to drop them off by a certain time, come home by a certain time, there's not so much running around the city.
For sure. And as like a mom of lots of kids, I mean, we have 9 between us.
Yeah.
Obviously, the more we can keep siblings together at the same drop off and pick up, right?
Yeah.
Like that's definitely a factor. And I think too, for parents looking for a day camp, you got to check out their if they have after care, and before care, based on your schedule. But lots of fun and opportunities out there. So when do you start getting kind of organized for camp or start looking?
I think it's right around May. I start looking at what's available in the summertime, just talking to my boys about what they're interested in, just getting an idea of where camps might be, where there might be space, because things fill up fast.
Things fill up super fast. In fact, I had some parents, I was on a parenting Facebook group, and some camps became available in January, and then they were gone. Like,
oh my goodness.
People are like, yeah. So I think also, when you're, I think plan early. The earlier the better.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Because also you might have to get stuff for the camp. I also am a big fan of if they're gonna go to day camp with a friend. I love a carpool.
Yeah.
I'm a big carpool guy, right?
Yeah.
If you can do that. But I know for me, when I was originally sending my kids to sleepaway camp, that was a big deal. Because imagine, like,
I'm not there yet, so I can imagine that's a big deal.
It was a big deal because they actually go away from home, and it was tough, especially for my guy on spectrum. I was really nervous about sending him to sleepaway camp. And I had said to the camp director, I don't know if he's ready. He needs a little bit of math tutoring during the summer because if he doesn't get it, he'll fall behind. And they were just like, that's all right. We'll provide that. And I was like, but he's a bedwetter. And they're like, that's fine. Send 2 identical sleeping bags and we'll keep one and he doesn't even have to report it. We'll just switch it out. Like they gave me all the solutions. And then finally I said to them, I'm like, maybe I'm not ready for him to go.
Yep.
But you know what they said to me? Oh, they schooled me. They said, I'm sorry, Julie, it's not about you.
Oh my God, I don't know what I would say. If someone said to me, I'm not even ready. To me, that feels like a different world.
Yeah.
And yeah, oh my God.
I know. So off he went, and it was the best thing for him, right? Like it is a really great opportunity for them to try new things. And I'm a big fan of, I mean, there are so many things when you're thinking about sleepaway camp to consider. Again, there's special interests. There, how long do you want them to go for? Do you want a co-ed camp? Do you want, and I find if you can go to your local camping association, you can do a lot of research. So I did that through Ontario Camping Association, but also actually having, being at Mabel's Labels, I go to a bunch of camping shows because we have partnerships with camp directors.
Yeah.
So I know all the camp directors.
You know everyone.
I know. So when it was time for my kids to go to camp, I was like, I had a whole network of people I knew. Yeah. And I knew what kind of camps I wanted. I wanted traditional camps. I wanted them to use outhouses. I want them going on, 5-day canoe trips. Yeah. I want them, I spend a lot of money for them to live like they don't have any.
You know what? And you're saying that you want a 5-day canoe trip where I would be like, can we just keep them within this certain perimeter and, put them in bubble wrap and, I don't know. Yeah. I gotta get there.
You will. Yeah. And then also once they go and they start creating the memories and they come back and they're homesick for camp, then you're like, wow, that's pretty wild. Yeah. But I do think also for parents, the number one issue, of course, with sleepaway camp is homesickness.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think it's important, to talk to different camps, ask them how they handle it, make sure they're accredited, ask about like what kind of qualifications their counselors have, that sort of thing. Just because it gives you, if you're a nervous mom, which of course you are,
yeah.
And of course anyone sending their kid to sleepaway camp is, so any kind of peace of mind, and you can do like virtual tours of camps, and camp directors are so good. I know our camp directors came to our home to meet the kids
that's a
before
good
they
camp.
went. I know. Yeah, that gave me a lot of peace of mind too. And I think, I worried about homesickness, but really that's the number one issue, and they know how to deal with it.
Yeah, they know how to handle it. And I think a lot of it, like you said, it's not really about us. Like I know that I'm not ready, but maybe they are. Or they will be in a day, right? After they're there for a day.
Yeah, exactly. And they do know how to handle it. So yeah, I would say, like for me, I started doing research probably a year before I sent them to sleepaway camp.
Wow.
And then, I picked it. Of course, it was an Ontario Camping Association camp. I, ticked all the boxes of kind of the activities I liked. And because they get their canoe training, they get their, bronze cross swimming, they get their sailing, they get their, like all of this, amazing opportunities,
And how long do you send your kids for to a sleepaway camp? I'm curious. I want to know this.
I know. You're going to die.
I'm not going to die because I feel like I look up to you. Tell me.
Okay. So the camp that my boys go to, they by the time they're 10, they go for a month. Yeah. They have to go for a month.
Yeah.
And the reason is because they actually have so many things they have to accomplish. If they don't stay for that month, then they're not going to get all of their goals done.
Man.
So, and it felt like a long time for me for a 10-year-old.
Yeah. Oh, that is, my oldest is turning 10 this week. Yeah, that's a lot for me.
It felt like a long time.
Yeah.
But the youngest is 12 now, and he just they love it. Yeah. And I mean they want to go the whole summer, really. Yeah. So and then so it's a long time. Yeah. I think ideally you want to go for 2 weeks, because I feel like what happens is that first week you're just ironing the things out. They've got a bit of homesickness. There's a couple, they're just kind of meeting their friends. I feel like they just get like adapted to camp after that week, and then they get sent home. Yeah. So I think the second week is really their time to shine. So I think if you're going to go to sleepaway camp, 2 weeks is great. And I know actually, obviously you don't have this issue because you have 3 kids, but I've got a lot of friends who have onlys. And they love their singletons to go to sleepaway camp, because they're like, then they have the experience of sharing space.
Yes.
Having to negotiate things in a shared cabin, having to do, and they said it's an opportunity that they don't necessarily get at home, like obviously with friends and cousins or whatever. Yeah. But they love, and then they also develop those really close friendships, which is super nice.
I can imagine you build really great friendships, and then you probably see those kids every year, right? The kids look forward to it. I'm sure they do.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because it's also nice that they have, I always love for kids like socially to have another group. So they have their school friends, but I always love them to do like Cubs or something like that. So they have friends, like if things aren't going great with one friend group, they've also got their other friend group. Yeah. And the camp thing is like, it's a big reunion every time they go. Like every summer they see their friends again. And like for me, I have 2 like adult kids, a 19-year-old and a 22-year-old, who work at camp. the camps that they went to.
Yeah.
Like my son is the maintenance guy at his camp, you know, and then my other kid is a counselor and actually running their environmental program this summer. Yeah. And I mean, what a great, beats flipping burgers. They're, you know, they're gone, they're outdoors, they're getting great leadership experience. So I think there's good opportunities for as they age.
That's true too. That's a really great point. I actually never thought about that because my kids are young and I still haven't thought about.
You're not there yet.
I will get there one day.
But you'll find too, I think for a lot of parents, there is this awkward time where I think it's like when they're more like tweens, where maybe they don't want to do day camp anymore, but they're not old enough to have summer jobs. Like I find a lot of tween parents are like, we're in that in-between space. What do they do in the summer, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes sleepaway camp is a good opportunity to fill that space. And also, I think the day camps have like LIT programs, like leaders in training.
Oh, yes.
And counselor in training for that awkward age, like before they're a counselor.
Yeah.
So I think it's good for tween parents to look into those opportunities.
Yeah, I will look into that because I'm about to head into tween category. Like,
you are.
Tween country.
You're gonna be hitting it hard soon.
I know.
Yeah. It's gonna be a big change.
I know.
Yeah.
It's already a big change. With your oldest turning 10, like double digits, for me, that's a big change.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so your goal is to think about sleepaway camp. And again, the thing with sleepaway camp too that you need to consider is the expense.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm sure
it is, you need to look at, you know, some camps are affordable, some camps are pretty expensive. And you have to look at what your family core values are too. Like, I don't want my kids going to a camp where they have gadgets. Yeah. Some camps are tech, you know, they're based around tech, and that's okay if that's but you want to think about what you want to get out of summer camp, what your kid wants to get out of summer camp. And my guy said, my kid just told me yesterday, he's like, I've got friends who would come to my camp, but they don't want to give up their phones for a month. And I was like, wow. Like yeah, exactly. Yeah. It sounds like mom camp.
Yeah.
But I'm like, wow, this is going to be something that camps have to consider now, right?
Yeah.
But I know ours are unwavering with that. They're like, you're in nature, and that's how that is, and that's why we go there. So I think thinking about your family core values, what your kids' interests are, whether it's the camp is accredited, how they deal with certain issues. I always make sure that my camps are very progressive and queer friendly.
Yeah.
And inclusive. These sorts of things are super important to our family. And then price.
Yeah.
It's gotta suit your family. You don't want to go broke doing this, but you know,
for sure.
You do want to. But you know what? I kind of feel like it's one of those things I'd rather them do without something else. Like I'm a big fan of not giving my kids things, but giving them opportunities
and experiences. Yeah.
So they might not have the fancy Xboxes or whatever, but
whatever kids are buying these days, I don't know.
They go to summer camp. Yeah, I don't know either. Yeah. But but having those kind of experiences are great. And honestly, like from a mom perspective, it's kind of nice and quiet. You know,
I can't imagine. I can't imagine a month of quiet.
You get so much done, and you miss them so much, but then you blink and they're back, and you're like, oh yeah, here we go again.
Yeah. But then 1 month till school.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you guys have some great day camp experiences this summer, and I'll be happy to ship mine off to sleepaway camp. And for everyone out there who's thinking about camp, I just think it's a wonderful experience, and I hope you can find something that fits with your work and your family schedule. Always remember Camp Grandma too. See if you can get the grandparents to take kids for a week or something like that, right?
Yes, that's a good one.
Ship them out. Have a great summer, everyone.